So hey guys, here is my review and my thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 7. Now in the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, in issue number 6, we saw Miles Morales, finally stretching out his legs in his new Spider-Man costume, the black and red costume, and, basically trying to fight crime. And also we see Miles' uncle, also known as the Prowler, who's in Mexico making a deal with some kind of gangster. And that's basically all that happens in issue number 6. Now, issue number 7 rolls around. Now, this issue opens up with Miles actually, I guess you can say, he's training in his room, watching an old, not old, but yeah, it actually is it's an old Spider-Man movie, and he's just watching it, and he's trying to learn Spider-Man's moves from the movie, trying to copy it in his room. Now, this is a really sort of funny moment, because, his mom walks in on him and he's like, oh crap, and his mom's like, oh, what do you want for dinner? Because this is going to be the last night you're going to be home and then you're going to have to go back to school. And she's like, you're all sweaty, what are you doing? Awkward moment. He was not choking the chicken, he was exercising. And then he actually does say that, I'm exercising, and his mom's like, right, exercising. I'm like, did you have to make it more awkward like that? I know, it was a joke to put in there that he could have been, choking a chicken. But, it's just like, I didn't, I just know, I sort of thought it was kind of more awkward when his mom was like, yeah, right, you're exercising, you're not doing anything wrong. Okay, I'm too focused on this right now. But yeah. Then we see Miles and, his parents having dinner together at the dinner table. And we find some interesting facts now. We find that Miles' mother does support Spider-Man in a way. She supports masks or superheroes. She supports superheroes all the way, while, his father still hates superheroes. He despises them. He sees the new, the new Spider-Man, a picture of him in the newspaper, and he's like, is everybody going crazy? Why does everybody support him? But, why did people support, Peter Parker when he died? Like, this is just crazy. You know what superheroes are. They shouldn't be around. And he still shows his hate towards superheroes. Now, I want to touch upon this a little bit later on at the end of this review, or before I finish talking about the issue. So after that, we see Miles still, trying to fit into his new Spider-Man costume. Not as like trying to put it on, but like, he's just trying to fit into his new, his role as Spider-Man, trying to test out his abilities to see, what other abilities, he has. Because we all know that he can paralyze people with a touch. He has the wall crawling ability. I don't think he has any webs at all, because he does mention in this issue that, oh, how did Peter shoot webs when he was Spider-Man? How did he do that? Well, Mary Jane or, Peter created a web shooter. You're just going to have to find some way to create a web shooter, which I think Genki will do for him. Who knows? He likes building stuff, so who knows? He might build him a really just a prototype web shooter, or like not so great web shooter, but still, who knows? Maybe it might be made out of Lego, because he likes to build things with Lego. Who knows? It would be awesome, though. But yeah, upon, stretching out his abilities, trying to figure out what he can do, he sees a giant explosion. He goes, to the center of that explosion, and we find Omega Red there. Now, after that, we see the Prowler talking to Tinker. Now, I technically don't want to call him the Prowler anymore, because I sort of want to call him the Deadpool wannabe, because, seriously, he wears purple and green. But the thing is, his mask looks like Deadpool's mask. And I'm like, can you choose a different mask besides looking like Deadpool? Because when he's pointing the gun at the Tinker, I'm like, I just keep imagining Deadpool trying to pull a funny joke, like he's just pointing the gun at Tinker. He's like, bang. No, I'm just kidding. Bang. No, just kidding. I just kept thinking that was going to pop up somehow, because seriously, the Prowler does look like Deadpool. But yeah, the Prowler's talking to Tinker. He's pretty upset about, what happened in Mexico, that the machine or gadget that the Tinker made for him only worked twice, which was only supposed to work twice, as the Tinker suggested, that it only works twice, or once. Once it works, one time, shocks everybody around them and you run, but he stayed there, which is, basically the Prowler's fault. But he asks the Prowler, do you know anything about this new Spider-Man? How did he become Spider-Man? I want this power. And the Tinker gives him information about, Norman Osborn, that he technically created created genetically altered spiders, and that's what created Spider-Man or gave Peter Parker his power. So he told the Prowler that's how Peter became Spider-Man. So basically, maybe this kid, we don't know if he's a copier or maybe he did genetically get bitten by a genetically altered spider or whatnot. So the Prowler is seeing as he got bit by a spider. But okay, so he got bit by a spider from Oscorp. And did Oscorp number these spiders? And he was like, well, yeah, for test results, yeah, they had to number them to, record their abilities and whatnot. Yeah, that's what they did. So the Prowler, Miles' uncle, knows who Spider-Man is now. But yeah, after that, we see a fight between Omega Red and Miles Morales, and that's basically what happens. He just fights against him, takes him out with his, I guess I'm going to call him Spider Sting ability, which he can actually... Actually, Spider-Man does have an ability like that in a fighting game. Spider, Sting, or, Crawler, Assault, and whatnot. Yeah, I'm just going to call his ability Spider Sting. So he punches Omega Red, knocks him out with his Spider Sting ability. And that's almost how the issue ends until, Miles is greeted by his uncle. And says, you've been pretty busy lately, Miles. Now, there's a lot of things I want to touch upon in this issue. One being the fact that, we see, Miles, besides fighting crime, we finally see him fight against a Marvel villain. We saw him fight against Electro. Now we saw him fight against Omega Red. Now, I never read any of the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books, sadly, so I did hear that, Ultimate Spider-Man did fight Omega Red, even though Omega Red is a X-Men villain, I believe? Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong here, because I don't read a lot of Marvel, so... That's the thing I have to admit. I don't read a lot of Marvel, so I don't know a lot about Omega Red or Ultimate Spider-Man besides the new series that came out. So yeah. So when Miles is fighting against Omega Red, I would say he tries to be funny. He tries to be funny like Peter Parker, in which he sort of is at times. He is funny. They actually mentioned a joke here that they said that Peter Parker actually said to Omega Red a long time ago. So he said the same exact line as Miles did, and I was like, okay, I didn't get that joke because I never read Ultimate Spider-Man. That sucks for me. But maybe people who knows that, maybe you might find that interesting. You might find that funny. But yeah, Miles is sort of funny. He's not funny like Peter Parker funny, but he's still generally sort of funny. I sort of laughed at some of his jokes and some of his wisecracking remarks to Omega Red. It's pretty cool. Seeing him fight against Omega Red, he's naturally generally getting used to his abilities now. He's getting better, as he says in the end of the issue. He also says, as he does this more, as he becomes Spider-Man, or as he puts on the costume and fights crime more often, he gets more better at using his abilities and powers. So, yeah, he's getting better. He's not like a total newbie now. He's getting better. He's learning to use his Spider Sting ability, which I really like. That kind of move is pretty cool, Spider Sting. And also, I want to touch upon his father. Now, his father hates superheroes. Now, I'm not going to say like this is going to be a storyline, but it would be interesting. So, imagine, Miles Morales already feels bad that, he's Spider-Man, but his dad technically hates him. Well, doesn't hate him, but he hates his persona, the Spider-Man. So, it makes Miles Morales feel a little bit bad about himself. Like, oh, my dad hates me because I'm Spider-Man. But his dad doesn't even know that, but he hates Spider-Man because, he is Spider-Man. But yeah. What would be an interesting storyline I want to see is that his father hates superheroes. So what if we put his father in a dangerous situation and, what do you know, Spider-Man comes to his rescue? Will it change his mind about superheroes? Will it create tensions between him and Miles? Who knows? That would be a great storyline. I would like that to happen. It would be interesting to see that, Miles' father's in danger and, he comes to his rescue. And who knows? We'll see. Maybe the tension in his relationship with his family will either get closer together. Maybe his father might like superheroes, or his father can push Miles away. That creates a lot of trauma there. I would like to see that. That's generally what happened in Spider-Man comics, so that's a lot to talk about. They really make me think about, how much drama that Miles Morales can really have in his life right now. And also his uncle figuring out that he is Spider-Man. Like, I'm not kidding you. He knows he's Spider-Man now. Don't tell me that he doesn't. Because, seriously, just put all the clues together. He knows there's a number on a spider. A spider technically did bite Miles, and he did faint, but his uncle never saw the spider leave, leave his bag or whatnot, and he never noticed it, but, you know, he can put it together. His uncle's pretty smart. But, yes, I did like this issue. Though nothing really much happened in this issue, there's a lot of things that I like to elaborate on in this issue, and it was pretty cool seeing him in action fighting Omega Red and whatnot. I'm really, really excited to keep reading Ultimate Spider-Man. It's doing great with me right now. I love Miles Morales as Spider-Man at the moment. He's not on par as, you know, with Peter Parker, but still, he's an okay Spider-Man. So yeah, I hope you guys like this review and enjoy the, you know, video, and I'll talk to you guys later, and thank you for watching it again. So, see you guys.